Hello, how's it going? Scott here, and today I'm going to be jumping into track 2 of the album. Now, if you didn't know, we're actually uploading the entire album for the Devine King Project. We're uploading it onto the podcast channels as well. So here, obviously, where you're listening to it, but also over on the podcast YouTube channel that we've got. If you didn't know about that, just go to SBL. Go to YouTube and just write in SBL Podcast. You'll find us over there and you can watch the video. And what we're doing just a little bit differently, or a little bit different even, is that we're uploading the album onto all of the podcast channels so you can listen to it there. But also, I'm doing like a breakdown and synopsis after we've listened to the track, so you can kind of get into my head of what I was thinking, how I was thinking about it, and I'm just like outlining, outlining cool stuff as the track plays through, because it's easy to miss some of this stuff. Now, the full album is already out. If you want to go to Spotify or wherever else you listen to music, Apple Music and stuff like that, you can go listen to the entire album, which is like all 9 tracks. But we're also, again, we're kind of releasing these, we're rolling these, the synopsis breakdowns, we're rolling these out over 9 weeks, and that's in alignment with what we're doing over on the main YouTube channel, which is uploading a live video recording of each of the tracks every single week. So if you haven't checked out, go over to the SBL YouTube channel, the main one, and you will be able to see Wired Telemetry that we're jumping into today, and you'll also be able to see the full live recording of Game Theory, which is the track that we jumped into on the podcast last week. That's up on the YouTube channel, and again, we're going to be releasing those videos over the next 9 weeks, but it'll be 8 weeks now. Now, with that said, we're about to listen to the new track that we've just released over on the YouTube channel. It's called Wired Telemetry. It's the second track off the album. And if you want all of the tab and notation, we've done a ebook for you. Again, it's completely free to get the ebook, all of the fingerings and stuff like that. All you need to do is go to scottsalbumbonus.com and you'll be able to get it there. So with that said, here is Wired Telemetry. Let's jump in and then we will get into the synopsis. See you in a bit. Okay, so that's the track, and as you can hear, there's various sections in it. Some of them are kind of funky, and my approach was, in alignment, or hopefully in alignment with that. And then some of it is like these bonkers unison sections where we're all playing together, and it's like a dare gone wrong. Okay, now before we start listening to any sections of the track, I'm just going to talk about my tone and my approach to tone. In the previous track, which was called Game Theory, I really went hard on the bridge pickup. If you don't know, I used a yellow F-bass BN5, the banana bass. Many of you know that bass. And on that specific bass, the bridge pickup and the neck pickup have separate volumes. So on the previous track, I had 100% bridge on and maybe like 10 or 20% of the neck pickup on. So really predominantly just bridge pickup. Whereas on this track, I'm not doing that. It's a little bit of a warmer sound on this track, and that is because I've got 100% bridge pickup and I've got around 70% neck pickup. And that is kind of what I did for most tracks throughout the entire album, in all honesty. I had the bridge pickup 100% on and then just backed off the neck pickup a little bit. Again, to around, so I was like using the neck pickup right around 70%. But it's you can still feel that like a lot of bridge pickup in the sound, but hopefully it's just a little warmer than just a bridge pickup soloed. Now, in terms of the should we listen to the first section of the track? It's really cool. Like, I just love the melody of this track. It's really kind of Brecker Brothers, Michael Brecker, Randy Brecker, back in the day. Will Smith used to play with them, very legendary band. And this melody really for me came from, the Brecker Brothers, that influence, the Brecker Brothers influences. You can hear it throughout. And what I tried to do with the bass line is really create something which was tight, had a 16th note type of feel to it, like not like full on Jaco Pastorius, not that, but had a flavor, had a sprinkling of that in it. So there's definitely some sort of like 16th note lines in there, but I also wanted to make it interesting and at the same time supportive for everybody that was playing, for the melody. I didn't want to get in the way of the melody, and hopefully I did that. So you will hear this kind of like funky in its approach, definitely some sprinklings of that 16th note, Jaco Pastorius, maybe like Rocco Pastia, maybe more Jaco to be honest, but sprinklings of that in there with enough to keep bass players like you interested, but at the same time, not getting in the way of anybody. And that is, I think, the balance that is sometimes difficult, making sure that you're coming up with a bass line that's interesting, it's creative, it's saying something, but also it's not getting in the way of anything else. So let's listen to the first section of that bass line. Now the melody comes in very Brecker Brothers. So good. And again. Through the melody again. That thing there, that little bit like this bop thing, that was like something I think I got that from like Jaco or somebody like that. Let's listen to this again. I'll point it out. Now, yeah. Now this bit, all of that's been in 4/4. Yeah. 2, 3, 4. Shall I count it for you just so you can hear that, just in case? 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Now, when we hit these stabs, it changes a little bit. Check it out. I'm just going to rewind it for you a little bit. Here we go. Well, actually, for the first section, it's in 4, but then it goes into 3. Check it out. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we're into the bass solo. Now, again, if you want the tab and notation for this so you can follow along, just go to scottsalbumbonus.com and you can get it there completely free. Okay, just go get it. Okay, now jumping into the bass solo, this is like just C7, which is easy in some ways, or sounds simple. It's not easy, actually. It sounds simple. Oh, it's just C dominant 7 forever. But what I find is that it sometimes is more difficult than you might imagine, because it doesn't give you any real shape to it. It's just like a vast open space. Do with this what you want. So the way that I thought about this is I wanted to really set like a bluesy vibe going. And I think I pretty much nailed it. And to do that, really I'm using just the blues scale, like a C minor blues scale. So the interesting thing here is that the chord I'm playing over is a major chord. It's a C major dominant chord, which is built out of like C, E, G, and B flat. But the scale I'm using is a minor scale. Okay, so you get a little bit of tension in there. It's a very common thing to do. So I'm just using a C minor pentatonic scale. Now, if you are a member of SBL, please go log in. I've created like a 40-minute masterclass, like workshop teaching this track all on. In fact, well, you might already know by now, but we're releasing have released an entire course where I'm teaching all of the tracks from the album. So I sit there with my bass and I play through all of this stuff, and I talk about the specific licks I played and the scales I played, and I show you how to play them and all of that stuff. So go log in if you're a member. If you're not a member, you can go grab a free trial. Go get a free trial and check some of this stuff out. It'd be really worth your while. Now, let's jump into the bass solo. I'm going to speak through it. Let's go. And please note the amount of space I'm leaving. Okay, let's just listen to that one more time. Space. Can you hear all that space? Again, we're like a big load of space right there. Space. 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 Bit of a line there. That angular playing out there. So what I'm like throwing ideas out here. I'm trying to make it edgy in terms of like spiky in my approach to this, like from a phrasing point of view. And I think it sounds. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with how it sounds, and that's actually unlike me. Line. Just one note. Okay, so now what you'll find if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, this doesn't sound like a blues scale anymore, it's because it's not. what I'm doing here is, and again, this isn't sort of like pre-planned out. I'm like, oh, I will play a G melodic minor scale here, and I will play. It's just, you got to go with in the moment, and that's it. You've just got to go with it in the moment, and that is exactly what I did. So it's improvised, right? But I've done this enough that I'm kind of going for a sound rather than thinking I will play this here and this here. I'm trying to link up my ideas. That's really what's going on here. I'm playing something that I'm trying to link it up to the next idea and then the next idea. And each idea really defines what's coming ahead. Does that make sense? Each idea defines what's coming ahead. What I'll do is, let's listen to it one more time. I'm going to point out the ideas, okay? There's certain bits where they're much more defined, and then I'm going to get into the section that we were just about to get into, which is like quite melodic minory, and I'm going to talk about why I do that. Check this out. So these are like rhythmical ideas, man. Like they're rhythmic ideas, right? And I went, and then I do the same thing again. I'm like, oh, I'm going to play that again. Check it out. There we go. Now I'm going back to sort of like where I originally started, but I'm just going to fill it out a little bit more. Lose your scale again. Now I want to get back up to back up the fingerboard, and I use this angular kind of outline to get there. And if you remember, I do show you exactly how to do this. Okay, but here it is. I haven't got a bass now, obviously, but here's the angular line moving back up. Now I'm back up again, right on top of that G string. Now you'll hear at this section there's a couple of lines that are very kind of you can hear the ideas. Check this out. Each idea should be linked. And then I played the same thing up a semitone, and then I go back down a semitone, you know, like all of these ideas are linked here. Now, up a semitone, down a semitone. Now here, like really now I'm thinking I'm moving into this more melodic minor type of tonality. So again, the chord is C7, but what I'm really thinking here is G melodic minor, which is so the scale, if you wanted to play a scale over a C7 tonality, the scale you would use is C mixolydian, okay? C mixolydian. Sorry for no non-theory heads out there, but just stick with me, okay? The scale you would use is C mixolydian. That's the correct scale, okay? But what you can do is get a C mixolydian, and the fourth note of it, you can sharpen it, which, you know, right? So instead of like a C mixolydian, you get a C mixolydian with a raised or sharp 4, okay? It's called it's what's it called? A Lydian dominant scale. Okay, sorry, forgetting my name. It's called a Lydian dominant scale. So you could play a C Lydian dominant scale, but I don't think about it like that. I actually just think about it as G melodic minor, and so it's exactly the same scale. C Lydian dominant scale is exactly the same as G melodic minor, and it's just easier for me to think. I find it easier for me to think about the melodic minor scale. Okay, so G melodic minor. So this is what all of this stuff that is about to happen. If it sounds like it's not a C blues scale, it's because it's not. It's because it's G melodic minor. And what I also do is use a bit of chromaticism in there as well. Check this out. So all of that was G melodic minor, and then I'm going to pause it, and then I just take one phrase and move it down chromatically. Here it is. This is all G melodic minor. All G. Now I go bop, bop, bop. Now this is where I play something and then I start just moving it down chromatically, just randomly, honestly. Here we go. So I was just moving it down randomly until I sort of like hit a note that worked there. And now I'm back into G melodic minor. I love that was my favorite bit of the solo, actually. That where because it's like so obviously G melodic minor. But check it out. Now, that low F sharp there. Boom. Here we go, into the guitar solo. Now I'm just trying to keep it super simple here. All super simple. Simon sounding amazing. Now we're coming to some stabs. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now this is into the sax solo. Now the sax solo is different to the bass solo and the guitar solo. It all kind of, so for the bass solo, I'm playing over an open C dominant 7. For the next section, for the guitar solo, it's like a 1 to 4 to 5 progression, 3 chords maybe. And then, but for the sax solo, I actually start playing the original, like what I played under the melody right at the top of the song, but Dave is playing over different chords, which is why it sounds like he's really up in the heavens here, playing some very crazy extensions. It sounds like that because he is. Check this out. And I should say, in David's solo, I took a different approach to when I was playing the with the melody right at the top of the tune. When I was playing the melody at the top of the tune, I was trying to it was like tight approach, like 16th type of vibes, or sprinklings of it. Whereas here, even though I'm playing around the same chords, I'm being much more just, I guess, sort of like, I'm just not putting as much notes in. I'm just leaving way more space for David to do his thing. Check it out. Lots of space in the bass here. And again. Well, snuck that in. Now, here we go into another stab section, and this is where there's just this monster line. It's a monster line. If you want to check it out, obviously go to scottsalbumbonus.com. You'll be able to get it free, all the tab notation there. But it was a real beast, and the first time I heard this and the first time I played through it, I actually thought, I'm not going to be able to play this. This is above my technique level. But I was wrong. And there was a process I just had to go through to be able to nail it. And and it was, so I was really happy that, and it didn't take me, too long to actually get it under my fingers. Just worked on it for a couple of practice sections, and it was nailed down. So, and in the course over on SBL, if you remember, I do show you all of the fingering and specifically the sections that I broke it into to really nail it down. But anyway, let's jump into so we can hear it, and you can hear what a monstrosity of a line it is. It's just such a beast. I absolutely love it. Here we go. Here we go. Bonkers. And now I'm really just playing exactly how I did at the top of the album. I mean, the top of the track. Nice and tight. Bit for Phil, maybe. Woo. Go taking it to the ride cymbal there. And I'm keeping it nice and tight, actually. Here we go. And this is where Gergo goes completely bonkers and everybody's just hanging on for dear life. Gergo's like an angry bear. Ah! So good. So anyway, thanks for listening today. As always, as I've been saying throughout, if you want to get the tab and notation for this, just go to scottsalbumbonus.com. You'll be able to grab it there. Also, if you want me to teach you this stuff and also get the play along tracks, well, the actual track, so you can be me in this band if you want to feel what it feels like to play with these players, playing these songs. You can get all of the backing tracks as well, and all of the big the big hefty tutorials where I'm sitting teaching you this stuff. You can get it inside the SBL membership, okay? And you can take a free trial for free. So just go to scottsbasslessons.com. You'll be able to grab it there. And and hopefully I'll see you on the inside. Now, with that said, let's call it. I will see you next week for another breakdown of an album track. Next week, we're going to be looking at Silent Delineation, which is an absolute killer track. And I had such fun doing it as well. So with that said, I'll see you next week. Bye.